time to react to Joel Klatt's most likely to make the college football playoff this year. He did 10 teams. Let's break it down, give my thoughts and my reaction to this list. Like I said, again, I really respect Joel Klatt, one of my favorite ones to watch, him and obviously Josh Pate. But there's some things I would change here. Now, first off, I do like Illinois. I think with Luke Altmaier, big year coming up for them. They got to make some noise, take that next jump forward. Had a really good, productive season with everything coming back, some pieces coming back. Can they take that next jump? Can they go in there and can they compete in the Big Ten is the biggest question. Let's find out. Now, this infatuation with Ole Miss, I just don't get it. And I know Rebel fans are going to hate me, but still a lot to see, what happens with Austin Simmons. Now, I do think this is one of the better front sevens that you're going to see in the SEC this upcoming year, obviously led by Sunterrain and Perkins. You know what I'm saying? So Ole Miss defensively should be pretty good, pretty decent at least. And they got some weapons, man. They got Deshaun Stribling. Obviously, they got Caden Lee. But this is his first year as a starter. I got to see it, bro. And Ole Miss is like a team, like last year was supposed to be the year they make the college football playoff. And they don't do it. You know what I'm saying? They lose in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Just games they're supposed to win, they don't win. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to reserve them a little bit. Now, look, South Carolina got everything you need. Dylan Stewart comes back another year. Yes, you obviously lost a couple pieces that's going off to the NFL. You lost Nick E, who's obviously with Seattle now. You lost obviously one of your best pass rushers as well. But you got some young whippersnappers that's ready to come in there and work, man. You got Lenoir's back another year. You got a really good running back. Nick Harbor's coming back. Obviously, we know how fast and lightning speed and quick he is. So South Carolina should be right there, you know what I'm saying, in my humble opinion. So that one I agree with. Illinois, South Carolina, yes. Now, what would I replace off this list? And he said, look, Joel Klatt said this best. Right here via On 3. He says, Joel Klatt is citing Carson Beck as Miami's biggest concern in the college football playoff quest. Yes, he is. And I'm a Hurricanes fan, without a doubt. And I still have concern. I still have concern at wide receiver. I know they hit the portal, but you lose Isaiah Horton to Alabama. You obviously got true freshman Malachi Tony. Will he be as good as the true freshman we saw last year? You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to need guys that have a big-time impact coming in for you. Now, for my Hurricanes, you got a Ray Joseph, right? Obviously, who's kind of like your emerging star, essentially, at the wide receiver. You got C.J. Daniels, and obviously we talked about Tony. Defensively, can our secondary be better? You know what I'm saying? That is one of the biggest questions. Ruben Bain coming back, that should help with the pass rush. But can you not get beat deep? You know what I'm saying? Can you not allow the 20-plus yard plays? Big question there. Now, Iowa, biggest question, Mark Gronowski. Is he the guy at quarterback? Or do you go to some of the guys that you've had waiting in the wings for a little while with the Hawkeyes, right? Historically, they're pretty good, right? But, defensively, to say the least. But they're going to have two new guys starting at the linebacker spots, right? But they do bring back, obviously, their outstanding corners. They bring back T.J. Hall and Deshaun Lee, so that should help them out a lot. But, again, can this offense put up points? Can they manufacture drives? What the defense is only giving up 9 points. You should be able to win that football game. So that's the biggest concern with Iowa offensively. All right, next up, you got Missouri. Obviously, we'll see. They're in a tough conference, bro. You know what I'm saying? With the SEC, it's a lot of teams I think that's going to stand out there. I think the conference is going to be tough for them. But they're supposed to have a better year. Obviously, last year they had some guys. Luther Burden, we know he went up to the league. We'll see with Missouri. Yeah, but at USC, I'm going to say pump the brakes a little bit on them because they got a tough schedule, bro. They got to play Illinois, Michigan, Notre Dame. That's a tough 5-game stretch, bro. And then you got to go on the road and play Oregon. I don't know, bro. I just don't see it with them. Obviously, they got to take a step forward. He talked about it in the show today. How they can't go 7-5 again, and I agree. But USC, I don't see it. I would replace, obviously, Miami with Georgia Tech. Then they're going to be one of those competitors in the ACC, along with Clemson. We'll see what Louisville does. I think Syracuse will be right in that conversation, too. Next up, he obviously has Kansas State with Avery Johnson leading the crew. Obviously, they got a good running back, Dylan Edwards. They should be able to make some noise this year. All depends on Avery Johnson and his development. You know what I'm saying? How much better will he be, at the helm? Got some good returning starters at some of the core positions defensively. Pretty solid offensive line. And can Avery Johnson win you those games on the road, late? Can he make the throw? Obviously, he can make the throws, but can he make the throws consistently to help your team? We'll see. Now, two I really like, he cooked with these two. Florida, Nebraska, for sure. Nebraska, obviously, Dylan Raiola had a great freshman campaign. For him, obviously, good weapons. You saw the promise in him freshman year. Same kind of thing, though. Can he follow that up after a great freshman year? Putting the whole college football world on notice, right? Nebraska kind of came out of nowhere. Can they do the same? Like, that atmosphere was electric when it was at home. You know what I'm saying? I remember playing Colorado, I think it was. And the atmosphere was off the chain. Like, that's what you want to see. And they will come out and support their team And now they finally got something, obviously, with their head coach. You know what I'm saying? Being there, Dylan Raiola, can you take that next step? Biggest question with Nebraska. And I know how I feel about Florida. I've said about Florida for the longest, man. I think this is Florida's year. I think they're going to make this rivalry with Georgia even better this year, man. They got the team to do it, barring any injuries. Florida should be right in the mix to make a college football playoff. So my pick, even over South Carolina, no disrespect to South Carolina fans, I'm picking Florida. I would take out of ACC besides Clemson. Clemson's a lock. I'm putting Georgia Tech in there. Y'all say what y'all want. It's biased. No, I'm not even a Tech fan. Like I said, I'm a Hurricanes fan. But my biggest question is our quarterback. Can Carson Beck deliver and make the throws and do what he needs to do? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's still, and this receiving core is not what he's had at Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So that's tough for me to say, you know, but that's how I would do it. If I was to do a quick list, obviously I would do Florida. I think South Carolina could get in, but I would do Florida over South Carolina. I definitely would do, I would do a surprise pick. I would do Texas A&M with Marshall Reed and all them pieces they got and all the horses they got. I think they could surprise some folks potentially and make some noise. And then y'all can call me crazy. I know I got a couple Texas Tech fans. That would be my outsider, you know, for Texas Tech, because to me it's an easier road to go through and navigate through the Big 12. No disrespect to the conference. The conference is great. Arizona State obviously won it last year, but that's like your biggest test if you're Texas Tech. So you have an easier chance to potentially upset and win your conference and get an automatic bid into the college football playoff. That's another way to think about it and look at it as well. So those would be some of the teams I would put. Obviously, I said Georgia Tech. Obviously, Florida, Texas Tech, you know, outside puncher's chance potentially. You know, I'm going to throw in there, obviously, I like Nebraska, obviously, as he put here. That could be a team that can make some noise, obviously, in the Big Ten this year. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be another team for me. And then, all right, now my surprise team, they from the AAC. It's going to be the Tulane Green Wave. Last year, 9-5, y'all. A lot of transfers. They didn't like what they had at quarterback. They brought in a guy that used to play at Iowa. So he's going to be, obviously, the starter for them in the defensive line. But it looks imposing. Probably one of the best defensive lines you'll see in the AAC and maybe even Group of 5 in general. That's a team. I know, obviously, Army's going to have Blake Horvath. You know, he's really good, obviously, and you know, they're going to be a good team. Memphis, you know, last year was the favorite, but they'll be a contender also in the AAC. I think Tulane is going to be a team that makes some noise, and if they get 11-1 and win, I think they'll have a shot to get a bid potentially. So that's how I would do it. That's my thoughts. But comment down below your thoughts on who should make or most likely to make the college football playoff for the first time.